Hi guys, welcome to Super Veil Sews. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today for my spring makes video. Now, I assume, like everybody, this lovely sunny spell we've been having has sort of inspired me to start sewing up for warmer days. And I thought I'd put together a little selection of some of the fabric that I've taken out of my stash and what I'm planning on making with it. And then maybe a couple where I'm in between some patterns, so I'd love your thoughts, and I would also love to hear what you are planning to make this spring. Now, I am wearing the Cinnamon Daisy Willow dress, one of my favourites, in a viscose linen in one of the Minerva exclusive prints. I was given the fabric as part of their brand ambassador programme, and I made this dress last year. I think it might have been my second Willow or something, so it was like early on the Willow journey, but it's a really sort of spring summer favourite dress for me. Right, so I have a selection of things here. A big focus for me over the next couple of months is going to be workwear, so I'm going to be doing a bit more in school, and I find that I get very stuck in a rut because I'm leaving so early in the morning, and I'll just grab whatever's easy and whatever's sort of not creased, and I end up just wearing the same sort of 3 outfits on repeat. So I really want to have a few things that I can grab, and I want to become the person who on a Sunday sort of picks out what I'm going to wear and make sure it's ironed so that in the morning I can just grab and go. So a few of these things are things that I'm hoping I could wear for work. Most of them I could also wear for other things. I don't have to wear super corporate clothes at work or anything, so most of them I could sort of wear in a mix of places, but just for work I need a bit more coverage is the main thing. So first up, I want to try a new to me pattern, which is the Sew Over It Viola dress. I'll try and pop a picture of it here. It is sort of, I think it harks back a bit to the origins of Sew Over It, which is more like vintage style. It's a shirt dress, sort of with vintage inspiration. It's got a nice shirred section of the waistband at the back, which means you get a really nice snatched fit. And I think the waistband actually design makes it look a bit more vintagey, although obviously it always depends on what fabrics you use and things like that and how you style things. It has 2 sleeve options. One is like a little almost a cap sleeve, and then there's one that's a little bit longer, like a half sleeve length with a cuff. This pattern can also be made as a little jacket or like little cropped shirt thing, which is quite cute. But I would like to make the dress. I've had it in my pattern collection for ages. I think this would be a nice one for work, but not too restrictive, and I think it will be good for the summer. So I'm planning on making one in fabric that's been in my stash for a while. I'm just going to take it out of my project bag. Now this is a cotton. It's by Rose and Hubble, and my mum bought me this years ago. We went to Goldhawk Road in West London to look at some fabrics, and I at the time wanted something to make a dress for work, and this is what I picked, and it's then sat in my stash for ages. It has lots of like little plants, little berries. It's got, I call it my broccoli fabric because, I'll see if I can find some here. I think this set of berries looks like tender stem broccoli to me. But yes, I think it's supposed to be like berries and general foliage. I think the print's really cute. It's a nice, stable cotton. I think it's like a poplin. You know, Rose and Hubble are known for this sort of weight fabric, and I think it will make a really nice dress. I had a look, and it says that you need, the max fabric you need is 4.2 meters. And I am trying to work as much as possible from my stash at the moment, so I had to sort of cut down to which fabrics I had enough of and then think which one I'd like to sew up. And the thing is, if I make it and then either I work out I need a bit less fabric, or I love it so much that I don't care, then I can obviously buy fabric with this in mind. I did message in the group I'm in, which is the Curvy Coven, to ask if anyone else had made it and whether it required that much fabric. And apparently it does use quite a lot of fabric. There are a lot of little pieces and things. So yeah, I have 4 meters of this, so I'm hoping that's going to be enough. I normally can manage a little bit of Tetris. And if all else fails, I can take a little bit of volume out of the skirt, or a bit of length off, because I'm quite short. So yeah, so I'm going to make the dress out of this. I would like to make it with the slightly longer sleeves with the little cuff on, because I think that will be better for work. Basically, more wearable for me. And the buttons, again, this is me shopping my stash, which I am working on this year. Again, I was a little bit limited by what I had enough buttons of, and I didn't think I was going to have enough of anything, because you need 11 buttons for this. And sometimes I use extra, so I've actually got 12 of these buttons, because sometimes I use an extra button on the bodice, depending on where the placement is, so that there isn't gaping over the bust. But I have these little gold buttons that I purchased from Liberty a while ago. So I think they're really cute. I have 12 of them, so that should be enough. So it's going to be this with these little gold buttons on, which I think is going to be really cute. That's high up on my list. I think I'm going to cut this out next and then give it a go. I'm a bit scared going in. I'm terrible for toiling. I know people are going to be like, for goodness sake, Sarah, toile. But I just don't want to. So I normally will toile if I'm doing like a really fitted bodice or something. But if I think there's a bit of space, I'll just play around and then I might tweak as I go, which I know is absolutely terrible, but that's just how I work. Yeah, and it's a hobby at the end of the day, so you can do it however you like, really, can't you? But yeah, I'm looking forward to making it. I did find when I looked at the size chart that my waist measurement was coming up like in a bigger bracket than it normally would in Sew Over It patterns. And again, I thought like, oh, is that an issue? Can I size down instead? But again, when I spoke to people, they said it's quite snug on the waist. So I definitely think it's better to, I'm just going to go by the size chart, and hopefully I'm going to end up with a really beautifully fitted dress that I can wear for work. So that is my first plan. My next plan is not for work, not work appropriate, but is for a pattern that is being released today, I believe, 1st of April. Is it the 1st of April it's being released? It is my fave Cinnamon Daisy, who designed this dress, is releasing the poppy pattern. Now, I have been lusting after the poppy pattern ever since Emma posted her initial samples of it. So when she first made her own version of it and was just talking about developing it into a pattern, I loved it. It is the most beautiful dress. Excuse me. So she's been testing it. It's being released this week. I think today, actually. Although I haven't seen it on my socials this morning, but I think it is today. And it comes as a blouse and as a dress. It's got this beautiful fitted bodice with a little sweetheart neckline. You can do it with straps. You can do it with big sleeves. And then it's got either a little peplum or like a skirt. But I also think you could make it, because of the way it's structured, I think you could, if you wanted a top without the peplum, I think you could easily do that. So it could be like a little crop top with a high-waisted skirt or something like that. Would be really cute. Now, not only has every sample I've seen look gorgeous, but there have been loads of testers for this and they all look amazing. And again, in the Curvy Coven group I'm in, people are posting their versions and they are insane. Like, everyone looks amazing in this dress. There's apparently lots of stuff about fitting and stuff in there. I didn't apply to test because the window was just a bit tight with some other things I had to do. And realistically, I know I wouldn't have had time to do it to the deadline. And I might not have even been picked to test, but I'm really gutted that now that I see everyone else's versions, I've got real envy. And so I can't wait to get that and sew it up. Now, this fabric is probably not what I'll do the first iteration in, because what I've been gathering from other people's feedback for the poppy is that you want to toile it like once or twice just in the bodice, just to get the absolute best fit. And that's why people are getting such good results. So I will make a test version of the bodice probably in something else first, but then I want to make a version of this in this. Sorry, please excuse the creases. It's a cotton poplin with, I don't know how well you can see, but it's got little embroidered daisies all over it. It's such a nice quality fabric. I actually purchased it initially planning on, hang on, here we go, here it is. Single. I'm gonna have to line it because it's white, so it's a little bit see-through, unless you want a little peep show, which probably you don't. So I'm thinking this. I think in the structure of the bodice and the big sleeves, I think it's going to be really sort of like wistful and romantic. I'm really excited about it. And I'll probably just line it in either a, like maybe either a skin colour or like a plain white. I think it's going to be really nice. So this, yeah, I bought for my honeymoon, and then I ended up just sort of running out of time on that project, and I sort of hadn't decided what pattern I wanted to make with that fabric. And I feel like that was meant to be, because now I'm going to make a poppy dress and it's going to be adorable. Am I concerned about wearing something that's so white? Yes, I am. I cannot be trusted with white things. I find it very high stress spending a day trying not to spill things down myself. But I think I'll just have to pick my moment. I'll have to pick a day when I'm not going to have to drink anything other than water for a while, and where I'm not going to be eating any messy food, or maybe I'll just bring a bib. I don't know, but it's going to be cute, and I'm going to make the version with the sleeves and the dress version. It's going to be really cute and like cottage core. I'm very excited for it. Now, another sort of work appropriate dress that I would like to make again is a pattern that I've made before, which is the Fabric Godmother Peony dress, which is a great dupe for the Vampire's Wife dress. I have a common change that I make, which is the skirt is quite slim fit for that pattern, and I prefer a gathered skirt. I made the first version with their version of the skirt, and I thought it made me look very square, whereas the gathered skirt, I think just, yeah, it works. So I have this pattern. I believe it is a Fabric Godmother one as well. I find I'm always drawn towards making their patterns in their prints. I feel like they're just sort of designed with each other in mind. Now, this is called Flavia, and I have made a dress already in Flavia, but in a different colourway. So when we went on our honeymoon, I made a willow dress with the Flavia in ivory. So I'll put a picture of that here. And I loved it. That was a very, very light sort of viscose fabric. This is a little bit heavier. I can't remember what the base is. It is a viscose again, but this is on the dark colourway. Now, can I hold this up for you? Here we go. Now, apologies being so close to the camera. I'm filming this sitting on the sofa bed pulled out, which is how I normally do it, so that I can balance everything. But the mechanism's slightly broken at the moment, and so it's a faff, but I can't put the camera further away for now, basically. But yes, here is this beautiful fabric. Now, when I made my willow, it was very important to get the design, well, it was important to me anyway, to make sure that the design was sort of symmetrical, because the print is a symmetrical print. I'll see if I can show you. Oh gosh, I'm doing a terrible job for this, aren't I? Do you see? So there's this pattern with the two big flowers here. And there's another one here, sort of with that big flower in the middle, and those little flowers there. So you can sort of pick which you want to centralize. But I do think with this fabric, to make the most of that print, you want to have it in the centre. And I had actually originally planned to make the other Flavia fabric into a peony dress, but at the time, pre-honeymoon, I was a bit short of time, and I thought there are so many little pieces for that pattern, I just didn't have the time to line them all up and make sure it was symmetrical. So I went with the willow, which was a lot easier and worked really beautifully and sewn up much more quickly. But I feel like I've got a bit more time now, and I think this would be a really nice dress to wear for work, but also to wear, you could wear it to a wedding, you could wear it for a nice like dinner out, go to the theatre, whatever. I think it'll just make a really beautiful sort of smart-ish dress. So yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to make another peony dress with that fabric, and I think it's going to be lush. Now, at the Stitch Festival, I purchased the Tilly and the Buttons Nell dress. I'd held off, I don't know why, I'd held off purchasing it for ages. And I was having a look through my stash the other day, and I decided that this is going to be the fabric that I sew it up in. Now, these aren't really my colours. The darkest pink is maybe a bit of colour I'd wear, but it's a bit pastel-y. I don't think it massively suits me, but I also think it's fun, so I don't care. So yeah, I was just going to make the version, so there's like the button-up version of the dress, and then there's the bow version, and I was planning on making the button-up version. Gonna need more buttons, aren't I? But yeah, thinking can't go wrong. I probably wouldn't wear that to work. I don't know if it'd be formal enough. I might get away with it on a really hot day, maybe. But yeah, I think that's going to be nice. Again, I've not made the nail before, so a few of these dresses are going to take a bit longer whilst I just sort out fit. Now, this next project is a little bit different. I have seen around and about over the past few months these denim jackets where they have like cutouts. So the main one to have is to have the centre back panel cut out and with some sort of sheer fabric over the top. So often it's an embroidered tulle or something like that. And then also often the top two panels here on the jacket are also cut out. So I have this fabric that I purchased ages ago from Sister Mintaka. I have actually got loads of it, so I could make more than this, but I've not really known what to do with it, but I just loved it at the time. Now this is it. So it's like a space. I'm going to hide behind it again. Here we go, so you can just get the full vibe. There we go. It's like a space tulle sort of, there are signs of the zodiac and everything in there. It's just, I just think it's really cool. And I bought some and I've just not known what to do with it. So it's just been sat in my stash forever. And now I'm thinking, because I have my dark blue, very classic denim jacket that I wear all the time. Now I'm thinking of making a black denim jacket with the cutouts with those in. So cut out at the centre back and two little cutout panels at the front. As I said, I've got plenty of this fabric, so I can then do something else with it. But I think initially when I bought it, I thought I might make a whole top in it or whatever. But that just hasn't appealed to me. I think it's such a busy pattern that I think I'm more likely to wear things made in it if it's like little pops of it. So I'm probably going to use the Sorrento jacket, which is so over it pattern which I made my other denim jacket in, a really classic pattern. It's in their Summer Dreaming ebook, and then I'm just going to sort of work out which pattern pieces I'm not going to cut in denim, and instead I will cut them in the net, and then I'll hopefully have a really cute new jacket. Again, it's a bit more of an involved one, that one, but I think it will be cool and a bit of a change from making summer dresses. Obviously can't wear it to work, but I can wear it outside of work, and also it can sort of carry me through the seasons a bit depending on what I layer it with. So I feel like that's a good idea. Now, I have a few things here where I'm not 100% what I'm going to make with them. So one of them is this mid-weight, mid-blue denim. I really want a denim dress. I've wanted one for ages. Cannot make my mind up what to make. This, I think, was from Jenny Stitches, and it's beautiful. I'm thinking, do I just make a fabric godmother aspen? What do we think? With a nice gold zip, and then I could do the classic top stitching, that like amber top stitching. The other option, I could make a juniper in it, like a longer juniper. I also quite like the look of the inner dress. I can't remember which designer that's by, but where it's all panels. But that will be like a lot of work. And in the grand scheme of things, do I want that for me right now? And will I wear it as much? Probably not. I'm leaning towards the fabric godmother aspen. I'm leaning towards it because I have the pattern all cut out and ready to go. I made it quite recently. It's very wearable, the dress. The only thing unwearable about my dress is that it's in a very light fabric and I'm messy Bessie. So this would be more wearable. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you would be making in this lovely denim. But I really do want a dress. I really want a denim dress. That's something I feel like is missing from my wardrobe. Now, I've got a couple of other fabrics that I think I want to make work dresses for. I think I want them to be quite simple makes. One is this viscose. Now, I got this from Fleur Etter with a voucher that I won in a competition. And I love it. It's a lovely viscose. I love the colours. I think the pattern is sort of fun, but it's also a little bit abstract. So yeah, there's a parrot there. There you go. I think that's really nice. Now, I wonder... Again, there's always my classic willow. I always fall back on the willow. I also liked the Lou box dress and the Tina Buttons Lotta. Now, I had to size up the Lotta because it hadn't been expanded. I don't know if they plan to expand it. It is quite an easy one to size up. So, but yeah, or I could make a Lyra. I don't know. what would you be making with this? The pattern's really fun, and I just want something that isn't going to be stressful for me to sew up. Hinterland is another one that I've made that was quite nice. I could also make another peony in this, to be honest. I don't want to make too many peonies because I need Nathan to get me in and out of them, so they're not as practical as I might like. But yes, so this is one other fabric that I'd like to get sewn up. And another lovely viscose that I have, and this is really creased, so I'm sorry, is this one with the suns on. And again, I think similar vibes. It's actually even a similar colour scheme to that. I do sometimes think, do I want to make something more holiday-y for this? But I don't know. I think a work dress would get more wear. I spend so much of my life at work that it's like, may as well have nice clothes. So this is very similar vibes, similar weight to the parrots. So it's obviously would be treated a bit differently because it's got this sort of tile print effect. But yeah, so those are a couple of fabrics that I want to sew up. Pattern undecided. So do let me know if you have any favourites. And then I have two patterns here from Nerida Hansen. They're old ones, and they were from one of the initial print on demand drops. I am currently not buying Nerida Hansen because of the whole fiasco of what's going on, and yeah, I think it's tough because I think there are a lot of businesses here, small businesses, who had invested in her fabrics from the print on demand service, and so I would never say never to getting something. But I presume these shops are going to stop stocking her soon because it's not selling. But like, yeah, anyway, I digress. We don't need to worry about that. But these are fabrics I bought a while ago, in case you're like, why has she bought these? I do not recommend buying Nerida Hansen fabrics from Nerida Hansen. You will, who knows when you'll get them. And also, obviously, for lots of reasons, it's her still making money from when she's not giving people their products and things. It's super dodgy. So anyway, but I bought these ages ago and I do want to use them at some point. So they are two fabrics in nice colourways. They are actually really beautiful. So there's this one large gingham. Again, it's super creased, apologies. And then there is this floral fabric. So the two of them together, oops, oh gosh, I'm doing a terrible job of this, aren't I? Hang on a second. Right, the two of them together look really nice. So I'm thinking of making a little something with them both. This gingham says to me luxe PJs. Is that really unimaginative? I worry that in a day where it might have a hint of clown. I don't know. Would it have a hint of clown? Not sure. So I've sort of been thinking it might be cute to make like a little PJ set that uses both of the prints. So the prints sort of clash a bit, but the colours all go in together. And I think that might make some really luxe PJs. The problem is I keep making luxe PJs and then I just reach for my non-luxe PJs, which is quite sad, isn't it? So maybe I don't need any more luxe PJs. But those were jumping out at me from my stash pile. So as always with these plans videos, I'm realistic. I know I'm not going to get all of these made up. The ones I'm sure about, the Viola and the Poppy, I definitely want to make. The denim dress and the jacket, I definitely want to make. And then things for work generally. So the jacket I think might be a slightly longer term project because I think I just need some time to sit down and like really get that right. So yeah, I'm just gonna work my way through. The Viola is gonna start me off and then I'll go from there. My plan is to cut lots of things out so that again, when work goes a bit mad in a few weeks again, that I will have things cut out so that I can just sit and just sew for a bit. The thing that really gets in the way of my sojo is not having things cut out, because when I'm stressed, I just like don't want to do it. Just don't want to do it. So now when I've got a bit of time, I'm going to be really strict and make sure I get lots of projects cut out in project bags with everything I need. And then that means when things get really busy, I'm not going to have these big gaps where I just can't sew anything. Because it's become an important part of my way to get some balance in my life. It's like when, I don't know, it's just like nice to be able to just focus in on like simple tasks as they lead into each other. I find it very therapeutic. So I want to try and make sure that I am giving myself opportunities to do that. I'm very lucky at the moment that I've got a few weeks off. So I'm still working this week, but it's mostly just evenings. a couple of afternoons here and there, but it's much quieter than usual. And then I have 2 weeks pretty much completely off. I have a recital halfway through, so technically not off because I'm preparing for that, but I'm not in school every day. I'm not up at 6:30 every day. I have the time and the space, so I want to make the most of that. And hopefully start to get a few of these things sewn up. If you have any thoughts on any of the fabrics that I have shown and what I should do with them, please let me know. Quite a lot of these, as I've mentioned before, I'm really shopping my stash at the moment, so a lot of these are older and you will not be able to buy anymore, but I'm sure you can find similar things. But yeah, just so that no one's disappointed, quite a few of them I'll try and put links for the things that are still available, but a lot of them I've had for a while, so are probably not available. But yeah, I would love opinions. If there are fabrics where I've said I'm not really sure this or that, or I want something like this but I'm not sure, like, please let me know what you think. I want things with minimal brain power, I think, at the moment. So if it's a new pattern, because I've got a couple that are going to take a bit of work for fitting and stuff, so I think otherwise I want things that are going to be quite straightforward, but they're going to look banging. So let me know if you've got any ideas. Anyway, that's it for me and my spring plans. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. All right, take care. Bye.